Okay, let's just get it out of the way. You're seeing this title, and yes, you read that correctly. We are about to break down a manifesto that, well, has a title that certainly makes you look twice.
But here's the thing, this isn't a joke. Not at all. Behind that absolutely wild title is a really, truly serious proposal for how we could actually survive on Mars.
And yep, you guessed it. The core idea really does come down to cow farts. Now just stay with me on this one, because I promise you, this is where it gets surprisingly brilliant. So that really sets up the big question for us today, right? Is this whole thing just the most ridiculous idea in space exploration, or could it be the most brilliant? Is it just a stunt, or is there a genuine insight here that maybe, just maybe, we've been missing all along? Okay, so to really get this, we've got to move past the giggle factor. We have to look at the actual system behind the idea, because this is the exact point where the joke stops and a serious engineering proposal begins. All right, first things first, let's just clear the air, so to speak. The idea is not, and I mean it was never, about literally powering a rocket with cow farts. That is a complete misunderstanding of the entire point. No, the real idea is this. Imagine you're in a completely sealed habitat on Mars, a tin can, basically. In that situation, every single molecule counts. Those waste gases, things like methane from animals or even from us, you can't just vent them into space. They build up, and they become a serious hazard, a danger. So if you have to deal with them, if you're forced to manage them, well, why not turn them into a resource? And this idea gets even bigger. The whole manifesto argues that we have this hubris, right? We think we can just export people. But think about it. We've never survived anywhere on Earth without bringing our entire ecosystem with us. Plants, animals, microbes, the whole shebang. Mars doesn't change that fundamental rule. In fact, it makes it non-negotiable. And that is the absolute key to this whole thing. The environment changes everything. What's logical on Earth can be completely illogical on Mars, and vice versa. Let's look at exactly how this works. Okay, so here on Earth, trying to capture methane from a cow to use as fuel is, well, it's pretty silly. It's wildly inefficient. Why? Because we have a massive atmosphere to dilute it, we have tons of cheap energy, and frankly, our industrial processes are just way better for that. But on Mars, the rules get completely flipped on their head. The habitat is sealed, so that gas becomes toxic. Energy is maybe the most precious resource you have, and you literally cannot throw anything away. Suddenly, the very same idea goes from being totally absurd to being absolutely mandatory for survival. So this new Martian logic gives birth to a whole system. And it has a formal name, which is honestly fantastic. It's called FPES-M, Fart-Powered Ecosystems on Mars. And what it does is reframe biology. It's not just cargo you bring along for the ride. It is the infrastructure. And the key to that whole biological infrastructure? Methane. You have to think of it as having this dual nature. On one hand, if you let it build up in a sealed habitat, it's a ticking time bomb. It's dangerous. But on the other hand, if you can capture it and process it, it becomes an absolute goldmine of energy and raw materials. And the way you process it is actually pretty simple, chemically speaking. It's a process called pyrolysis. Basically, you just heat the methane up, but, and this is key, with no oxygen around. So you're not burning it, you're just cracking it. You're breaking it apart into its basic building blocks, pure hydrogen gas and solid carbon. And what's really cool? No CO2. It's a clean split. And just look at what you get out of it. This is where it gets really good. That hydrogen, that's your energy. You can run fuel cells with it, store it for later. You could even use it for rocket fuel. And the carbon? It comes out as this fine black powder, which you can then use to 3D print tools, make building materials, or even press it into bricks for radiation shielding. You are literally turning a toxic waste gas into the fundamental building blocks of your Martian colony. So let's be absolutely clear about something. This is not some sentimental, oh, it would be nice to have animals on Mars kind of argument. Not at all. This is a cold, hard engineering take. The argument is that a diverse, functioning ecosystem is a non-negotiable requirement for survival. Think of the whole ecosystem as a single, complex machine. Every part has a job. The plants? They're your oxygen generators and food factories. The animals? They're your food system stabilizers. The insects? They're your pollination drones. The microbes in the soil? They're the recycling plant, breaking everything down. And what about us, the humans? Our job is to be the mechanics, the caretakers of this biological machine. Okay, so this all sounds amazing in theory, right? But the manifesto is very clear.
You can't just cross your fingers and hope this all works on another planet. You have to prove it. You have to test it here, on Earth, first. And the proposed test is designed to be, well, brutally honest. The scale of this test: 1 football field. That's it. A single, completely sealed, airtight dome.
And the duration, 1 full year. 365 days. Totally locked down. No inputs, no outputs, no cheating. And inside this bubble, you wouldn't just have, say, a family of 4. You'd have their entire world with them. A whole range of plants, insects for pollination, fish and chickens for food, maybe a couple of small livestock animals, and, crucially, a rich, fully loaded microbial soil system. You're basically testing a tiny, self-contained planet.
And really, this experiment isn't just about checking if the technology works. It's designed to ask much, much bigger questions. The kind of questions that get to the very heart of whether or not we are actually ready to leave Earth. For instance, can an ecosystem like this actually heal itself? When something inevitably goes wrong, a crop gets a disease or the oxygen level dips, can the system bounce back on its own? Or does one small problem cause the whole thing to crash and burn? And then there's the even deeper question: can we handle it? Psychologically, can human beings live inside a closed loop, a world where there's no way to throw things, where you know for a fact that every single thing you discard will come back to you as food, water, or air? Can we live with that? And that brings us to the manifesto's final and honestly inescapable point. The logic is brutal. If we can't survive for just 1 year, inside a dome, on 1 football field, here on our perfect home planet, with all the animals and plants we evolved alongside, then we have absolutely no business even thinking about trying it on Mars. It means we just aren't ready. Because at the end of the day, you can sell a vision, you can build the most incredible rocket, but you can't fake your way through survival. And the final line of the document just says it all. Mars does not forgive pretending.